It's time for the one, the only, the host of the No Spin News. I've been watching Bill O'Reilly since I feel like I was a kid. Bill O'Reilly's joining us now. Bill, okay, I need to ask you, because you're a professional and I eat cheese balls. What stood out to Bill O'Reilly when you watched it? Obviously, there's tons of lies and tons of different things that are going to stand out to different people. What'd you love? What'd you hate? Did you hate it all?
No, I didn't hate it all. I didn't learn anything, and I don't like that. Standard issue Democratic Party speech. You could have predicted it. I did, of what he was going to say. He's speaking to the choir. He was vibrant and energetic, looked good, didn't stumble around a lot. But the speech was notable only for what he didn't say. So we got 6 million foreign nationals in the country under his watch because of the open border. We've got the fentanyl thing. He goes, well, we got to crack down. Where were you for 2 years? Are we going to crack down, and how are you going to do that? He doesn't say. He's not going to crack down on anything because you have to close the border in order to crack down. No balloon talk. I thought he would mention a balloon, but there wasn't any balloon. No violence in the streets talk of the major cities and what a crisis that is. And no mention of inflation, that most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So those are all very, very big issues in this country. Totally avoided them. All right. And I was not surprised, because most of those things are his fault. And, you know, he can't give a State of the Union speech and keep making excuse after excuse after excuse. Jimmy Carter did that. He got waxed. So what Biden has decided to do is say, hey, we got to finish the job that I started, so you got to reelect me. And everything's great. We're the strongest country. Don't worry about anything. We're going to give you as much as we can give you at the federal level, and so vote for me again. And that was pretty much what encapsulated, what was it, an hour, 10 minutes? It was hard to watch that. It was not an easy speech to watch.
No, he's not a natural speaker anyway. He has no charisma. It's difficult to watch him anyway. But all right, Bill. So obviously, as you well know, these people are all sociopathic monsters, and all they care about is poll numbers and the newest focus groups. Bill, he knows that he's facing some heat from the left, not from you, not from me. He's facing heat from the left. Now that creates a problem for him. Did you take any of this as him trying to fend off the Gavin Newsoms of the world? That's how I took a lot of it.
Nah, not really. I mean, he's always, if you look back, Jesse, on his speech pattern, it's always been the same thing. More abortion, as much as abortion as possible. That's what he wants. Roman Catholic, I don't know how you justify it, but more abortion, LGBT, whatever. We got to do everything for them. Equity for African Americans. They get most favored nation status in America. It's the standard that he always does. Now, you're correct in saying that the far left doesn't think he's far left enough, because they're off the chart loons. I mean, Bernie Sanders and the senator from Massachusetts, who they kept cutting to, I mean, they want just rank socialism across the board. I mean, they don't want corporations. They want the government to run the corporations. And you'll notice that Biden, but he always does that. Fair share, pay your fair share, and you just say to yourself, he has no critical thinking skills, Biden. Number one, he firmly believes he's done the best job since Abraham Lincoln. He believes that. He's delusional, but that's what he believes. So it's easy to sell this for him. And he told a blatant untruth or misstatement when he gets up there, and this was almost amusing. He goes, I've cut the deficit by 1.4 trillion. Remember that? He might have said 1.7, but it's 1.4. Well, yeah, because your first year, the deficit was at 2.8 trillion, far beyond any deficit in this country's history. And the second year was still a colossal $1.4 trillion deficit. So yeah, it came down. It had to because the COVID mandate stopped. And you're taking credit for that? For a 2-year, $3.1 trillion deficit? But this is the delusional world he lives in. And unfortunately, most Americans, they don't know the numbers. They don't know what happened. They can't grasp all of this. What they can grasp is they're paying 10% more for food in a year, probably about 12% more for gas right now, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. They can grasp that.
Bill, conceptually, the arguing with the Republicans in the crowd, now maybe you have seen it. I've never seen that before. I've seen presidents have to pause because Republicans or Democrats, depending on because the opposition party is making a ruckus. I've seen them pause, maybe snicker for a moment. I've never seen a president of either party lean down and actively engage with an angry party from the other side. Joe Biden did it several times tonight. It looked weird. Bad? I'm not sure, but it looked weird, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different, but I thought it worked for Biden. I mean, he's going to try to paint all the Republicans as MAGA extremists. I mean, that's what they do on the Democratic side. But you asked the other guest, what surprised him the most? Ask me that question, Jesse. I'm ready for it.
Bill, what surprised you the most? I just thought of that question just now.
The cheap shot at the end that equated the break-in of the Pelosi home to January 6th to Trump. I thought that was so unclassy to take that kind of a cheap, dirty, down, low shot when you got a loon who breaks in and tries to hurt an elderly man, and you're equating it to the former president. I mean, that was bad. That was a bad look. Any intelligent person would go, that's beneath the office of the presidency.
Bill, anyone with eyes can see that the Democratic Party focuses on Trump at all times, including the Paul Pelosi. No matter what, they focus on Trump. Everything's Trump, ultra MAGA, mega MAGA, Trump, 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 my predecessor, all these things. Is there anyone in the party who understands that whether Trump wins or loses the primary in general, Trump's gone? Probably in 2 years, maybe 6 years, whatever you believe. Trump's gone soon, and you've built an entire party on Trump, 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 Trump. Isn't that a mistake?
It worked in the midterms for them. The resentment against Donald Trump in the independent precincts and many American females is still high. But you're correct in the sense that the Democratic Party can't continue to do this much longer unless Trump's the nominee. But Biden's performance for 2 years has been so abysmal, so terrible, particularly on the border and in economics, that he's got to try to hide it. And the Democratic Party's got to try to hide it. And so they use Trump as the shield to hide their terrible performance because they've got no other shield as effective as Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's probably it. Bill O'Reilly, No Spin News. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you.
All right, Jesse. Thanks for having me.